Hello, this is Natalie Holness and Jazz Doughty. We're sitting on the train going up to London, ready to put forward the petition to Downing Street. Now we have Lynne Beaumont, and we're going to ask her a few questions about what it's like to be a district councillor.
Being a district councillor, as far as I'm concerned, is working for local people right across the district, not just Park Ward, which is my ward, but I'm a district councillor, so I can go from Densole down to Dungeness and helping people with the problems that they've got. That can be a blocked drain, that can be a fallen tree, that can be potholes. We don't have potholes in Kent, we have craters, street lights. It's any local issue, problems you may have with antisocial behaviour, all sorts of things. And when your phone rings, you never know who's going to be on the end, and to see what you can do to help solve a problem.
As you're a member of the district council, you also take part within the meetings. Where are these district council meetings held? How long for? And how many times in a month?
Oh, there's all sorts of different meetings, but the main council meetings take place at the Civic Centre, in the council chamber, which all sounds very grand, doesn't it? Really isn't, but it sounds very grand. Where we all sit around and discuss different issues. Really, on a district council level, that's the only place where the politics kicks into play. And that's where we have sort of fun and banter, if you like, and we challenge what we don't believe in. That's where you stand up for what you believe in against other people who, but let's face it, everybody becomes a district councillor because they want what they think is best for the area. Everybody sees that differently, and you challenge other people's views if you think there is a different way of doing things.
Okay, so we're all in the cab and we're with Lynne Beaumont, and we're about to go and pick up some sacks full of petitions, and from there we're going to go to...
Well, we're meeting some, I'll introduce some people that we're meeting with the campaign, but we're going to go and pick up 120,000 signature petition in their sacks, ready to go to Downing Street.
Right, then we're outside a cafe along Whitehall. We're with the bags with the petitions in. These are white bags with red ribbons around from the red logo over the top, for a bit of a publicity campaign really, and a big photo opportunity. So yeah. With us, different people from different type of companies. For example, we have RAC. We also have Dodds Haulage here, which is a Kent firm. We also have women from haulers and different companies like that.
The party, as Charles says, supporting us. And I believe personally that this is a real issue. And if we're not very careful, we'll be looking at a £7 gallon before very long. If the duty-wise...
parties, aren't we? I'm Tory, so and that's got nothing to do with it. But we both make the same point. But with great respect, I actually really resent when I feel bullied, and you know, I've been around and I don't like being bullied. And if it has any effect on me, it makes me actually go the other way, and I don't want to.
As we move forward, though, I think it is important to recognise that one thing we will be doing is asking our members to engage with their own MPs. Certainly there is a lot of that.
Okay, we're all back on the train now, and earlier we watched Lynne and the rest of the supporters take up the petitions to 10 Downing Street, and then we went to the House of Commons where there was a committee meeting held, and we met George Osborne, whose trousers almost came down because his belt came undone. That was quite interesting. We managed to get an interview with him. It was quite hilarious. Just for the record, it was Charles Kennedy who had the awful incident with his trousers, not George Osborne. He passed us in the street, but it wasn't it?
After that, we went and had food.
I'd just like to mention my personal highlight of the day, and that was my ploughman's lunch. And yeah, it turns out that a day in the life of a district council member is actually slightly more interesting than we first thought, and the food was absolutely delicious, and we're now sitting on the train eating pick and mix. So Lynne, what originally attracted you to Shepway?
Oh, I've lived here a long time. I lived here since 1984, and I'd never thought about entering a political arena. I'd never thought about standing for council. I'd been a governor at a local primary school for a long time and ended up as chairman of Board of Governors, and one day I joined the Lib Dems as a member of the local party, and that was that until somebody called Peter Carroll came and knocked on my door one Friday afternoon and said, "Will you stand for council for us?" At which point I said, "Go away and come back in a week, because I need to think about that. Because if I take something on, I give it my all." And I had an awful lot going on in my life at this point in time, and my first grandchild was just about to be born, and there was a lot happening. So I thought long and hard about what I wanted to do. He came back a couple of times and was still told to go away and come back the following Friday. And I decided that I would stand for election for the first time in 2003. And that's exactly what I did. I was elected, and it's a great honour to be elected, and people put their faith in you when they put that cross by your name, and it's a very, very humbling experience. And I was elected in 2003. By the end of 2005 I became leader of the group and the face of the opposition, and that's what I'm doing today. So that's how I got there. It wasn't a plan. It's not something I'd really thought about doing. I've never been a career politician, and I never would be. I just like being in a position where I can try and make a difference.
How do you decide which areas to kind of take first, or do you decide, which helps the most people, or do you campaign for things that maybe help more kind of worthy causes?
I don't actually decide. It's not a conscious decision. If somebody phones up and says I have a problem, then I will do my best to solve it. With the Gurkhas, that was a visit from 3 or 4 people at the end of 2004, which actually made us aware of the problem, and thought that can't be right. I think if something comes up that you think that is just fundamentally wrong, and it's wrong for our area, and it's wrong for people, then I will do my best to sort it out. Life gets very hectic when you've got lots of things on the go. I mean, we were talking earlier about making people aware that the Lees lift was going to close, and fighting a campaign about cutting 24 firemen from Folkestone, and fighting a campaign that we were losing 35 policemen from our area, and so it goes on. But if I see something that actually I think needs to be put right, then that's what I do. And that doesn't have any more priority over the elderly lady who's having a problem with her fence and a few young people are making her life hell. That is just as important to me to put that right than fighting a national campaign like we did today. So it's a whole mix. It can be somebody's drains, it can be antisocial behaviour, it can be street lights, it can be craters in the road, because I refuse to call them potholes, and it can be anything on the end of a telephone, and if I can help, then I will.
What, in your opinion, is the biggest problem facing the people of Shepway?
Employment. We do not have enough employment. We do not have enough well-paid employment, and we need to be spending our time trying to get large businesses. Everybody talks about the beauties of the high-speed rail link, and you can get to London in less than an hour. What we need to do is to get people from London down to Shepway. We need them in Folkestone, we need them in Romney Marsh. We need all sorts of employment now. Down in Romney Marsh, for instance, and there's been a big hoo-ha about whether there should or should not be a new Dungeness power station, whether you like it or not. The government basically have taken it off the list. I've been saying for the last 3 years to the district council, if this doesn't come off, where is your plan B? What are you going to do for the people of Romney Marsh? Where is your plan B? Plan B, as far as I'm concerned, is because the Romney Marsh has everything people go on holiday for. If you want to go cycling, if you want to go fishing, if you want to go swimming, if you want a beach holiday, if you want to walk, if you want churches, if you want castles, if you want zoos, if you want canals, you want wildlife, it's all there. We live in one of the warmest parts of our country, and what we need to do is spend some time, spend some money, and really sell the beautiful part of the country that we live in, so many more people can come and stay, spend their money, which will boost our economy, and give local people employment. That's what we need to do.
What is the difference between a district councillor and an MP, bar the fact that you don't have a seat in Parliament?
As an MP, you're going to spend the vast majority of time in London, out of your constituency. You will have a constituency office and people doing that work for you. And you are there to represent people's views on a national level. As a district councillor, I see, although we've been out on a national campaign today, the vast majority of my time is in Folkestone, helping people on a local level.
What do you think is, what do you prefer doing, the local council side of it or the district council side of it?
It's all local. If you sit on Folkestone Town Council, you deal with Folkestone Town Council. As a district councillor, which covers all the way from Densole all the way down to Dungeness, so it includes all of Rummy Marsh, it includes all of the Elam Valley, and Folkestone and Hythe. You cover the whole district, which means you get a whole different gambit of problems, because if you're being isolated in the middle of a middle part of Romney Marsh, that's not going to happen in, say, Harvey Central in the middle of town. So it's a whole different gamut of problems, and it's... I'm saying it's more interesting is a really ridiculous thing to say. It just gives you a much broader view of different people's lives and what you can do.
What is the proudest thing you've done as a district councillor since you've been one?
The thing I'm proudest of is getting everybody around a table who deal with homeless people. Somebody told me that we'd lost 2 or 3 people on the streets of Folkestone 2 Christmases ago. They basically froze to death because they had nowhere to live. I wasn't prepared to live in a town where that was going to happen, and I wasn't going to try and do something about it. So I called a meeting with all the different agencies that dealt with homeless people around a table. Spoke to a lovely guy called Matt Clifton, who was the captain of the Salvation Army, who had this idea of 7 local churches opening their doors one day a week, one night a week, to offer not just a bed and a hot meal, but friendship, companionship, and working with other agencies to help people deal with some of their problems, find accommodation, or help people rehabilitate back into their families, and getting everybody talking to each other for the very first time and enabling that to happen, because I'm not the person who made it happen. The people who run it are the 270 volunteers who give up their time for 3 months to help people that they've never met before. And as far as the big society idea goes, it's already happening in Folkestone, and we saved people's lives this winter because people would have died in our town, at the bottom of your garden, at the bottom of everybody else's garden. They would have frozen to death this winter. That didn't happen. I'm proud of that.